Hello, my friends. I am Martin Van Buren, the 8th President of these United States. You may know me as Old Kinderhook or perhaps as the man who followed the mighty Andrew Jackson. But today, I'd like to tell you my story, from a tavern keeper's son in New York to the highest office in the land. I was born in 1782 in the small village of Kinderhook, New York, to Dutch parents. My father Abraham kept a tavern, and our home was always filled with travelers, politicians, and local farmers sharing stories and debating the issues of the day. This tavern became my first classroom in the art of politics, watching men negotiate, compromise, and persuade one another. Unlike many of my presidential predecessors, I was not born into wealth or privilege. We spoke Dutch at home before English, making me the first president whose native language was not English. At 14, I began studying law, sweeping floors and copying documents in a law office. I had no formal college education, but I was determined to make something of myself through hard work and careful observation of human nature. By 1803, at just 21, I had passed the bar and opened my own law practice. But the law was merely my stepping stone into politics. I quickly learned that success in American politics required organization, loyalty, and the ability to build coalitions. I helped create what became known as the Albany Regency, a powerful political machine that controlled New York Democratic politics for decades. I served in the New York State Senate, then as Attorney General, and eventually as a United States Senator. My colleagues called me the Little Magician for my ability to navigate complex political situations and broker deals that seemed impossible. I believed in party discipline and organization, ideas that were revolutionary at the time, but became the foundation of our modern political system. In 1828, I played a crucial role in electing Andrew Jackson as president, and he rewarded me first with the position of Secretary of State, then chose me as his running mate in 1832. I was proud to serve as Jackson's vice president and trusted advisor. In 1836, the American people elected me as their 8th president. I was honored to be the first president born as an American citizen rather than a British subject. However, my presidency began during one of the most challenging economic periods in our young nation's history, the Panic of 1837. Banks failed, unemployment soared, and many blamed me for the economic crisis, though its roots lay in policies from previous administrations and broader economic forces. I faced a terrible choice. Should the federal government intervene to ease the suffering, or should we maintain our principles of limited government? I chose to limit federal intervention, believing that government should not interfere with natural economic cycles, though this decision made me deeply unpopular. I also faced the growing tensions over slavery that would eventually tear our nation apart. I walked a careful line, supporting slavery where it existed while opposing its expansion, a position that satisfied few on either side of this moral divide. Perhaps my most lasting achievement was establishing the independent treasury system, which separated federal finances from private banks and provided greater stability for government operations. I lost my bid for re-election in 1840 to William Henry Harrison in what became known as the Log Cabin Campaign. My opponents painted me as an aristocrat out of touch with common people, ironic considering my humble origins. I attempted a comeback in 1844, but failed to secure the Democratic nomination. In my later years, I came to oppose the expansion of slavery more strongly, even supporting the Free Soil Party in 1848. I realized that the careful compromises I had spent my career crafting could not forever paper over the fundamental contradiction between American ideals of freedom and the reality of human bondage. I may not be remembered as fondly as Washington, Jefferson, or Jackson, but I take pride in my contributions to American democracy. I helped create the modern political party system, demonstrating that organized opposition could strengthen rather than weaken our republic. I showed that in America, a tavern keeper's son could rise to the highest office through merit, hard work, and political skill.